All right, so today we're going to dive into a world that's, I got to say, visually stunning
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing in these notes.
Oh, yeah.
Islamic art and architecture. I mean, talk about intricate patterns,
Yeah.
geometric designs, calligraphy. And one thing that really jumps out at me right away
Yeah.
is the absence of depictions of people or animals.
That's right.
It's like a whole different approach to art.
Yeah, it really is. And it makes it so incredibly unique and captivating. You're drawn into these patterns and these designs, and it really speaks to
Yeah.
the kind of a spiritual essence of Islamic art.
And it makes you wonder, like, what's the story behind that? Why
Mm.
this restriction on depicting living beings?
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said spiritual essence. At the heart of Islamic art
Yeah,
is this profound belief that God, and God alone, is the creator of life.
right.
So to depict humans or animals in art would be seen as
Yeah.
almost like, stepping on God's toes a little bit.
Yeah, like trying to imitate
Exactly.
the creator.
Almost like playing God in a way. It was seen as a form of idolatry.
I see. So it's about that reverence for
Exactly.
the divine power of creation.
Exactly.
Okay, so instead of focusing on those figures, they channeled that creativity, that artistic energy
Hmm.
into these incredible patterns and
You
designs.
got it.
And that's where we get into these like arabesques. I mean, those just like blow my mind. These like swirling floral patterns
Oh, they're just
that
mesmerizing.
seem to go on forever.
They are. They really draw you in. And the thing about arabesques is that, people often think of them as just beautiful decoration,
Right.
but there's so much more than that.
I bet. There's got to be some
Yeah.
symbolism in there, right?
Oh, yeah. Lots of symbols. You take, for example, the pomegranate motif. You see that a lot in Islamic art.
Right.
And, pomegranates have always been associated with abundance and fertility.
Oh, interesting.
So in Islamic art, they symbolize paradise, that abundance of the afterlife.
Wow. So it's like a visual reminder
Yeah.
of the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm. You see it with the intertwining vines, too.
Okay.
Those kind of represent the interconnectedness of all things in creation.
I see.
It's fascinating when you start to delve into
Yeah.
the meaning behind these seemingly simple patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they're telling a story without using words.
Exactly, a visual language. And then you've got the geometric patterns, which are just equally mind-blowing.
Yeah. Like those are the ones that just kind of like make your head spin a little bit in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
Like trying to figure out like, how did they even come up
Yes.
with that?
Oh, the precision is just incredible. And,
Mhm.
in Islamic art, geometry is not just about aesthetics. It's deeply connected to spirituality and this idea of
Right.
the order of the universe.
Uh-huh.
It's this belief that God created the world
Yeah.
according to a divine plan.
Yeah.
And many of those patterns, those intricate geometric patterns, are actually based on complex mathematical formulas. So they're not just beautiful.
It's like art and math
It is. It's the perfect fusion.
coming together.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember like reading in the notes about like the dome of the Lotfallah Mosque in Isfahan.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like a prime example of that, right?
It is a masterpiece. It's like a visual representation of the heavens, this intricate network of
Wow.
star and polygon shapes all coming together in this
Yeah.
perfect harmony.
Yeah, it's like I just want to like stare at it for hours and
Yeah.
try to figure out all the like the secrets hidden within those patterns.
That's the beauty of it, right? It invites you to contemplate,
Yeah.
to think deeper. And then, of course, you've got calligraphy. We can't forget about that, right?
Yeah.
Because Arabic script, that's the language of the Quran.
Exactly.
So it holds a sacred place in Islamic art.
It does, and it's not just a means of communication.
Yeah.
It truly is a revered art form in itself. Every stroke, every curve. It's like, yeah, it's like they took writing and turned it into like this beautiful dance on the page.
Absolutely. It's like a visual music almost.
Yeah. Can you give us like an example of how it's used in like Islamic art and architecture?
Oh, there are countless examples. But maybe one of the most iconic is the Taj Mahal.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. This entire structure adorned with calligraphic inscriptions from the Quran.
Wow.
Each one, each stroke, so carefully crafted.
Yeah.
It's not just beautiful, it's imbued with meaning.
Right.
It adds another layer of depth and spirituality to an already breathtaking building.
Wow. That's just amazing. So we've covered the forbidden image concept, all these intricate patterns, the calligraphy, but we can't talk about Islamic art without talking about
Architecture.
architecture. And for me, like the mosques and the minarets, those are just like
Like iconic.
so evocative of like Islamic culture.
Yeah. A mosque is more than just a building. It's the heart of a Muslim community. It's where they come together to pray, to gather, to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And then you have the minaret. You know, that soaring structure you see next to the mosque.
Yeah, like reaching up to the heavens.
Reaching up to the heavens, exactly. And its function is just as beautiful as its form.
Okay.
5 times a day, the muezzin
Yeah.
climbs to the top of the minaret and calls the faithful to prayer.
Oh,
And that call to prayer just echoes out across the city.
I can almost hear it now, like just like echoing through the...
Yeah. It's a beautiful unifying ritual.
And the architecture of the mosque itself. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just as stunning. And I remember from the notes, you were like really curious about the different types of arches that are used.
I am. You know, Islamic architecture is famous for its innovative use of arches.
Right.
And they've got, you know, pointed arches, horseshoe arches, multi-foil arches,
Ooh.
each one with its own unique
Yeah.
shape and visual appeal. And then you've got those architectural elements like the Iwan.
Which is that grand vaulted hall,
Yeah.
open on one side, often found in mosques and palaces.
Yeah.
It's about creating this sense of grandeur and awe.
Yeah. And then I remember reading about the muqarnas.
Oh, the muqarnas.
Those like intricate, like honeycomb-like designs.
They're incredible. It's like
Yeah.
looking up at a ceiling that looks like a stalactite cave, you know?
Wow.
Hundreds of tiny cells all fitting together seamlessly.
Yeah. Like, what's the symbolism behind that?
Well, there are different interpretations. Some say that they symbolize the celestial spheres.
Oh.
Others say they represent the divine presence.
Wow.
But whatever the interpretation, they definitely create this sense of awe-inspiring grandeur,
So it's like taking geometry and just like
taking it to the next level.
amping it up to 11. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, it's amazing when you think about it, right? We started with this concept of the forbidden image.
Yeah.
And from that limitation,
Yeah.
blossomed this incredible explosion of patterns.
Right. Calligraphy, these incredible architectural feats.
It's like they took a constraint and turned it into like this
Yeah.
a creative opportunity.
They absolutely did. And it just goes to show you the power of human ingenuity and creativity.
Yeah. And the best part is you don't have to like travel to some far off land to experience Islamic art and architecture. Like you can find it
You can find it all around you.
all around us.
Yeah, next time you're walking down the street, just take
Yeah.
a moment to look around.
Yeah.
You might be surprised to find traces of Islamic influence right in your own neighborhood.
Oh, I bet. Like even just in like little details.
Exactly. You might see an intricately carved doorway,
Yeah.
a tiled fountain,
Right.
or even, you know, a modern building that's been inspired by
Right.
traditional Islamic designs.
Yeah. So it's like a treasure hunt.
It is.
It's like keep your eyes open and you might find
Something amazing.
you just might unlock a whole new world of beauty and wonder.
Yeah.
Exactly. So go out there, explore, and see what you can discover.